6 Foolish Habits of Baby Husbands. All right, I'm going to speak as a grown woman to grown women, and to any man mature enough to listen without getting defensive. If this message feels uncomfortable, that's not disrespect. That's truth brushing against ego. Let me say this slowly so it lands. Not every husband is a man. Some are just grown boys with wedding rings. They have age, they have beards, they have authority in public, but at home, emotionally, relationally, they are baby husbands, and the damage they do is quiet, daily, and exhausting, especially to women who are trying to build peaceful homes. So today, I'm calling it out, not to insult, but to wake people up. Here are 6 foolish habits of baby husbands, and if any man sees himself here, this is your checklist to grow up. 1. Food rejection. Silent tantrums in adult bodies. Let's start with one of the most childish behaviors, refusing to eat food because you're angry. A grown man sulking over food like a toddler? You're not punishing your wife, you're embarrassing yourself. A man gets angry with his wife, and suddenly he can't eat. The food was cooked in his house, with his money or shared resources, for his family. Yet he rejects it not because he's not hungry, but because he wants to punish. That is not maturity. That is emotional blackmail through hunger. A grown man communicates. A baby sulks. Refusing food as punishment doesn't make you powerful. It makes you predictable and immature. Conflict is not resolved through silent protests. It is resolved with conversation. Refusing to eat because you're upset doesn't make you powerful. It makes you petty. Real men address issues with words, not with hunger strikes. 2. Keeping malice when pride becomes poison. Another foolish habit is keeping malice. Some men can stay angry for days, weeks, sometimes months, even when the wife reaches out, even when she apologizes, even when she seeks peace. They turn deaf ears, not because the issue is unresolved, but because their ego enjoys control. They enjoy watching their wives beg for peace. Let me be clear, that's not masculinity, that's emotional immaturity. Marriage is not a battlefield. It's not a competition of who stays cold the longest. Marriage cannot survive emotional punishment. A man who enjoys withholding peace from his wife is not wise. He is insecure. A wise man understands this. Unresolved conflict rots love. If there's a misunderstanding, settle it. Silence is not wisdom, it's avoidance. Disagreements should be settled, not stored. Malice hardens the heart, poisons intimacy, and turns love into quiet resentment. Now, pause here for a second. If this conversation is resonating with you, whether you're married, engaged, or watching for wisdom, please like this video right now. It helps this message reach women who need clarity and men who need correction. And subscribe if you value honest conversations about marriage, emotional maturity, and healthy relationships. Now, let's continue. 3. Constant outbursts of anger. Loudness is not leadership. Unchecked anger is another sign of a baby husband. A man who cannot control his anger is not strong. Calling your wife names, issuing threats of divorce, using intimidation, talking about beating or abandoning her in moments of rage, that is not masculinity. That's emotional instability wearing authority. That's emotional recklessness. Anger is human, but unchecked anger destroys homes. A real man pauses, he cools down, he speaks with intention without destroying. Anger that spills into insults and threats does not solve problems, it creates trauma. And let me be very clear, a woman cannot feel safe in a home where words are weapons. If every argument turns into threats, the problem is not your wife, it's your lack of emotional discipline. 4. Refusing to support their wives at home. Turning marriage into slavery. Now let's talk about a big one. Too many men believe housework and childcare are beneath them. This one is painfully common. Many men proudly say, "I'm the head of the family. My father never did housework. Men don't do that in our culture. If I help her, she'll disrespect me. I make the money." Let me ask you something gently, honestly, but firmly. When did leadership become laziness? Are you a husband or a landlord? A woman is not your housemaid. She is not your servant. She is not your slave. Supporting your wife does not reduce your masculinity, it proves your maturity. Marriage is partnership, not a master-servant arrangement. Helping with the baby, carrying a crying child, attending PTA meetings, supporting your wife when she's overwhelmed. None of these reduce your masculinity, they reveal it. Show your children what partnership looks like. Muscles were not made only for lifting egos. A man who refuses to help at home is not strong. He is afraid of losing false power. Using culture as an excuse to neglect your wife is childish. A real man uses his strength to protect, not to avoid responsibility. 5. Reporting your wife, broadcasting private pain. Running to friends, neighbors, colleagues, or family to report your wife is deeply immature. Marriage is not group chat content. The people you're reporting to may have bigger problems than yours. Some may even secretly enjoy your dysfunction. A mature man protects his home's dignity. Immaturity is when every misunderstanding becomes public news. A man who cannot handle his home privately lacks leadership. Marriage issues are not community gossip. Yes, seek counsel, but do it wisely. Pastors, marriage counselors, trusted mentors, not gossip circles. Public humiliation destroys trust, and once trust dies, love follows. A mature man protects his wife's dignity even when they disagree. 6. Wife battering, the lowest form of foolishness. Let me be very clear here. Any man who beats his wife is not a man. He is dangerous. You don't beat what you love. You don't harm what you promised to protect. Violence is not discipline. It is failure. No amount of provocation justifies abuse. No culture excuses it. No apology erases it. A man who raises his hand against his wife has already lost authority. Marriage is meant to be a place of safety, not fear. If anger pushes a man to raise his hand, he needs help immediately. Women deserve safety, peace, dignity. Marriage should not feel like survival. This is about growth, not gender wars. This message is not anti-men, it is anti-childishness. Men must grow emotionally. Women must stop normalizing immaturity. Marriage demands wisdom, humility, and responsibility from both sides. If you're a woman watching this, do not excuse behavior that erodes your peace. If you're a man watching this, use this as a checklist, not an attack. Growth begins with self-awareness. Now, I want to hear from you. In the comments, tell me, which of these habits do you think destroys marriages the fastest? Like the video if this spoke truth. Subscribe for more honest conversations. And remember, love thrives where maturity lives.